so I thought I'm going to keep that for another day. But I quite like to do that because I've seen a few films now about transgender people, which I relate to, which I didn't necessarily expect, and that's kind of why I wanted to make a lesbian film, because I'm not a lesbian. But I think that the journeys that we go on are similar, even though they're not the same. So I think if you had a straight person who might possibly be able to relate to that if their parents and they're straight, isn't it? So
the Dallas Buyers Club, which is come out with Jared Leto.
Yeah, everyone did that.
Picking up just on the LGBT comment, what we've done, or aim to do in all our films, and what we do in the future is focusing on films where LGBT characters are in the leading roles, but where their sexuality isn't what drives the plot, or it's not what the film is about, especially.
Well, I was going to say actually, I just want to say one thing first. I really enjoyed especially at the end, I really related to the fact that I was just saying to you when I come up to my dad, he was like a proper Cockney sort of mate type lad. And he was like, I'm not bothered where I was like, I am. Do you know what I mean? And someone's talked about it, so you need to be my dad and speak to me about it. So well, we're not well done, but thank you for putting that on screen and that.
For me, that's kind of an obscure LGBT issue where coming out is not a big deal. It's accepted. Because for me personally, hearing friends' stories, some have been thrown out, beaten, and it's really traumatic to me. And I can't imagine what it's like to be on the receiving end of that. But what other LGBT issues are you keen to shed some light on next?
So this kind of organization, Intermedia, is something that's moving towards that, because every single person in this entire country watches one of those stations that I just named. And these are the people that are getting together. And within Intermedia, we do have the Fair Representation Committee, where there's people just sitting there talking to each other, like, okay, I work for MTV and you work for the BBC. What research have you guys done? Well, this is what we've done. And bringing that all together. And yes, it's from a very specialized point of view, because we're all LGBT. So obviously that's, it's on our agenda, but that's why we formed this in the first place. That's why we're having this Queer Media Festival. It's not just because, we just want to sit in a little thing and go, yay us. But sometimes you do need a little bit of yay us, because you're not going to get it from anywhere else. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that's what Intermedia is about, and it's kind of bringing everybody together from all walks of all the different parts of media so that we can make those kinds of changes, or at least talk about what they are so that we can go back to our individual organizations where we work, and then, get our, like BBC Pride or ITV Pride, and get those people motivated to do those things as well.
Yeah, I think as well, just to add to that, it's come up this afternoon here as well, we do all have different voices, we will all have had different experiences watching those films. I probably didn't feel the same as you about some of them, maybe, you know what I mean? We all have different voices to express ourselves, and the thing about stories and the thing about representation generally, and certainly with Intermedia and what we're trying to do is about saying we don't all, we are not one LGBT voice, we are a whole blinking, mishmash of LGBT voices anyway, and we want that acknowledged, so we want the broadcasters to know that and stop putting us in little boxes and stop having lesbian homes.
We'll see in a minute some positive messages about the queer community, and it was just one tiny thing where I contacted the London Lesbian and Gay Film Festival, and they put me in touch with all these many filmmakers, and I thought it would be great to have short snippets of films, because I've worked as a web content editor before, so I've experienced doing things online that are instantaneous, where you can just see stuff and see 5 minutes that might change your life or your viewpoint. So I was really interested in the immediacy of content, and in Manchester there's no short films ever shown. If you ever go to any of the other cinemas, there are always the feature films.